Hello, trading is closed on March the 17th, 2015. I'm Jeff Tennant. The mejt target from yesterday's pattern was 2071.97. That was satisfied early. There was resistance at the price. It was helpful to keep a hold of this price even after it was satisfied because it was excellent support later in the day. This support is not required to hold, but if it holds, we typically get more of a move than we did. If it holds, we typically would trade just past yesterday's high, which would be helpful because gaps like this tend to fill pretty quickly. During the day, in the morning, the system said ultimately higher prices would print and ultimately lower prices would print too. It gave specific targets outlined by the white dots, and they all printed. Later on, there was an ultimate sell signal that was satisfied. We then rallied. If you think of it, we have a good rally here, a pullback and a good rally. It looks like we're going to keep traveling higher. mejt says it's a false move. Prices would return to this line over here, which they did. And there's no mejt target for tomorrow, and that leaves me to fall back on my own devices. Well, there's a FOMC meeting tomorrow. Typically that leads to wild price moves, which I personally don't like to risk money on. Let's just go over some targets and give a hypothetical situation we might have tomorrow without formally predicting whether or not it will happen. It's generally positive when you gap down, hit a new low, undercutting these lows, hit a new low after that and cannot hold on to it. This positive action would be negated if we were to gap under this low. It's generally positive if you start out low and rally all day long, but it's not positive when you close under this high. That negative aspect would be negated if we had a gap over this high tomorrow. So based on that, I think we have a reasonable chance of having a gap outside of today's range. This drop at the end of the day came in the last 10 minutes. That really is not when big money tends to make its move. And prior to that, we had been over this high. Also in futures, the largest volume of the day came right at the close, and after that we traded up. All this implies this is position squaring at the end of the day and gives the edge to prices moving higher tomorrow, at least at the open. I also think it's significant that after this big move up and this late sell-off, we still closed over this high. And as long as that's true, I think that the bulls have the benefit of the doubt. The ideal situation tomorrow would be for a gap up out of this trading range from today, go over this high, give us bar 13 of a DeMark sequential sell signal on the 15-minute chart. After such an early gap up, he would anticipate a retracement of some kind. That's not the only possible scenario. It's entirely possible we have a gap under this low, which could be a gap completing a diamond on stilts pattern. However, this pattern doesn't have to go to completion, and typically when you play Fibonacci ping pong between the 38.2 and 61.8% targets of this leg, as long as you stay in that range, typically the next move is higher, which gives you a target of 2106-ish, and that would give me the 20.95 price I've been trying to get for a couple of weeks. So the call for tomorrow is a good likelihood of a gap outside of the day's range. I'm not predicting the direction, but I would like it to be higher and then sell off. And if we stay in this range, the longer we stay in the range, I think, the greater the chance that eventually we move higher. All this could change with the open, and all this could change with the FOMC report, but that's today's call.